Hey, thanks for tuning in to the concealedcarry.com channel. I am Tyler of Synergy Training Group, and today I'd like to talk to you about two of my favorite stand and deliver exercises. Stand and deliver. So the opposite of dynamic exercise. So there's no movement. You can do these at an indoor range. A lot of you across the nation, that's your range that you go to. It's probably convenient. You can shoot there during the summer months or when it's blazing hot outside. Y'all don't have the luxury, a lot of y'all don't have the luxury of having a private outdoor range like I do in a state that's relatively mild-mannered as far as the weather goes. So these are two exercises that I'd like to share with y'all that you should be trying at home. The first one I invented called Take My Strong Hand, and it is done on a typical USPSA target. If you wanted to use an IDPA target, that's totally fine. You technically could adapt it to a B8. But this is what I designed it around, to be as aggressive as you possibly can while staying accountable to your shots. It's going to be 5 rounds freestyle at 25 yards, 5 rounds strong hand only from 15, and then 5 weak hand only from 10. And you'll score this hit factor. All right. Any miss is an automatic failure. Okay. Any miss is an automatic failure. My personal synergy targets don't even have a D zone. Okay, so you're only allowed A and C. In that case, I usually penalize anything outside of the C zone scoreable area as a miss, which you don't get any points for, and you're penalized 10 points. Now, this is a drill that you can shoot more rounds of, so you can make up bad shots, but you need to understand the spirit of this exercise, and that is, again, to be accountable to all your shots as aggressively as you can. So that's a defensive encounter right there. Aggressive and accountable. So I'll demonstrate that one, and then the other one is called the super test. It's done on a B8. Again, if you had a synergy target, you would have all this already on one nice target. But I'm demonstrating this in with just 2 separate targets, because that's probably what you have at home or what your local range supplies is a typical target, and then a B8 you can put on top of it. So without further ado, let's go do the Take My Strong Hand exercise, and then I'll demo the super test as well. All right, so we're out here at 25 yards, not feet, 25 yards. As you can see, that target is tiny at this distance. But if we don't push ourselves, we'll never grow. So that's the idea here. I have not shot anything today. I've dry fired just a little bit, so you're going to get to see my cold performance, if you will, on this exercise. I'm shooting a M&P compact. There's some porting in the barrel, Trijicon SRO on top, and a little trigger work done by me. In a KSG Lexington holster. There's no reload required on any of this, but if you did shoot an exercise that required you a reload, you're still going to use KSG Armory for your source of a ammo pouch. All right, so I got my timer set on a random delay. It's either random or 3 seconds, I forget. And so on the beep, we'll draw freestyle 5 rounds into the, hopefully, A zone. Let's see what that looks like. That is 5 alphas in a time of a 3.69. That's that's going to be easy to remember. I'm going to run down here, and I'm going to I'll write my first time on the target, and then we'll set up to do the next one, and wash, rinse, repeat. We'll take all of our times and all of our points, and we'll take points divided by time for a hit factor score. So stand by. All right, now we are at the 15. I need to find a little bit more aggression. That draw to first shot was pretty weak at a 1.79. When I drew the gun, for some reason that left hand was just late to the game, and that dot had to be recovered from the left side instead of just being exactly where I wanted it. So something to take note of. Do a little bit more dry fire at the 25. But Again, I try to stay accountable to the shots. Those are all alphas favoring that right side. All right, this next one at 15 yards is strong hand only. Now, you don't technically have to draw strong hand only, where you defeat the cover garment all with one hand. But I feel that in the spirit of this exercise being as applicable as we can be for defensive applications, that we should be defeating the cover garment with one hand. However, we won't do that with the weak hand because it imposes some weird things, and never are you going to draw the gun and then change it over and then shoot. It'll be some sort of something happened with the strong hand. You have to transfer it over to the left. But anyway, I digress. This is going to be strong hand only, 5 rounds at 15 yards, where we defeat the cover garment with the strong hand as well. Let's see what this looks like. Woo! Oh, 2 Charlies. Dag nabbit. And the time was a 5:18. I'll run down there, write that down, and I'll meet you back at the 10. All right, so the strong hand only, 2 Charlies. As you saw, I missed my shirt on the first try. And for some reason, I kept thinking about that while I was shooting instead of just redoing the draw and thinking about the shooting. So I carried a previous problem into the current problem. That is not ideal. Again, something to think about. But once I got the gun going, working the trigger, started working the shots better. That first shot was way off. It's barely a Charlie. It's on the line of a Delta. So you'll see that here in a minute. All right, so for the 10-yard line, we will start with the gun in the left hand. You can start from a low ready or some sort of high ready, high tempo index, compressed ready, whatever suits your fancy. I'm a big fan of the low ready, as if I'm giving them commands with the gun low so that I can still see their hands and all that stuff. And then, you know, something changes and then I have to aim a little better and shoot. So it'll start like this, and see what happens. Oh, one more Charlie in the mix. Well, it'd be like that sometimes. All right, let's go check them out. And we're back. All right, take a look at this right quick and pause if you need to. That way I can explain it. Okay, got it. Good. All right, so hit factor is points divided by time. So it's how many points you can get per second. Alphas are worth 5. Charlies are worth 3. Deltas are worth 1. And then a mic is a 0 plus a 10-point penalty. So you lose 10 points. I had 3 Charlies, so I lost 6 points. So, you know, you're down 2 points basically per Charlie. So 2 times 3 is 6. Total time for everything was a 12.58. So my total points was a 69. I divide that by my total time of a 12.58. That means I got a 5.48 hit factor, which means I was able to produce 1 alpha hit per second. All right. Think about it like this: if points divided by time is the name of the game, which is aggression and accountability, 1 alpha, which is 5 points, in 1 second, so 5 divided by 1 would be a 5. So it stands to reason a 5.48 across this whole exercise means I was, on average, able to produce 1 center chest hit per 1 second. I feel like that's pretty dang good considering we started out at 25 yards. If you'll recall the Elijah Dickens shooting, which was in a food cafeteria area of a mall, he started out at 35 yards, I believe it was. So now he didn't shoot all of them from 35. He shot some, ran up, shot some more, ran up, shot some more. Okay. But we can't really replicate that in an indoor range because you're not really allowed to run. You can just move the target forward and aft. I consider good shooting to be over a 5 for this hit factor. I've seen them as high as like a 6.5 from some dang good shooters shooting an outside full-size gun, all that good stuff. From concealment, you know, compact-ish gun, if you're doing a 5 or better, you are doing great. So Now, let's talk about the super test. Where did the super test come from? I ain't got a clue. If you know, tell me in the comments below. I don't remember. I could Google it, but whatever. I shot this a few times recently down in Louisiana, and then again in a class that I taught in Kansas because I liked it that much. We all know the test, the 10, 10, 10. So 10 yards, 10 rounds in 10 seconds. Well, the super test is basically 10 at 15, 10 at 10, and 10 at 5 with par times. So the one at 15 is 15 seconds, one at 10 is 10 seconds, one at 5 is 5 seconds. So the par time matches the distance, and you still have to produce 10 rounds on a B8. A B8 looks exactly like this right here. You can print these off online. Super simple. It's a scoreable ring. You have the X, which is worth 10 points. You have 10 ring, 10 points, 9, 9 points, 8, 8 points. And anything outside of that is worth a big old goose egg. So let's put this bad boy up here and see what we can make happen. All right, so here we are at the 15-yard line. You got 15 seconds to put 10 rounds as close to the X ring as possible. So I'm gonna do this from concealment with a big old extendo mag. I can put 25 rounds in this gun to start. 24 in the mag, one in the mag in the chamber. It's wild. It doesn't lock back. I have a non-locking follower to make it happen, but it's pretty cool whenever I go shoot competitions to be able to start the gun with 25 rounds. All right, so I got my par time set at 15, and my delay is set for let's see, 3 seconds, and all of this is done freestyle. So let's see what we can make happen. Oh man, I am so bad about rushing myself. I did it in at 8.69, and I was given 15 seconds to make it happen. So, yeah, you know, there's a couple of nines in there I'm not happy with. I would have paid a little bit more attention, allowed myself to caress that trigger just a little bit more. Those nines would be tens, but you know, I can't take it back, and they're all in there, so it's whatever. It's whatever. Let's change my par to a 10 and do it again. This is 10 rounds at 10 yards in 10 seconds. So this is basically the test. But we're adding these three together for a total of 30 rounds, and it's more comprehensive, if you will. I did that one in a 7.45. Again, I got some nines in there. 1, 2, 4, and 5. And beautiful. Now we're at the 5-yard line, and we'll do it in 5 seconds. Make sure I have ammo. I don't. Stand by. Okay. I forgot I only put 20 rounds in that last one. So, all right. Now, this one's fun. I like this one a lot. This is 10 rounds in 5 seconds. Oop, wrong button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what happens here. .496. Here, I'll show you that real quick. Did it in a 4.96. I don't know if you can see that all that well, but I had 4 hundredths to spare. So technically you have 3/10 past the par time for a buffer zone. You're not penalized until you're beyond the 3/10. So I technically had 5.3, but I got it all in. Let's go check this out. All righty. Now, if you recall, these are shots from earlier. They're all here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. They're all in this area. These were the two from earlier. So, how do you score this? The easiest way is just go from the outside in. So there's a total possibility of 300 points because 10 times 10, I'm sorry, 30 times 10 is 300. So I am down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Essentially a down 10, which makes for the worst score I've ever shot on this of a 290. Let's see. I put up a 290. So the 4 times I've ever shot it, I've done 1 299, 1 298, 1 297, and the 295. And now for a 290, I 100% contribute that for rushing at the 15 and the 10. However, here's my thing. I know I can do a higher score. I brought some of my excessive aggression from my previous drill into this, but I didn't fail. I didn't have anything outside of the scoreable 8 ring. Heck, I only had one in the 8 ring, and it's barely in the 8 ring. I consider that a success when I consider the aggression. If I don't consider the aggression, and I'm just looking at the test on its own and what it's meant to do is push your accuracy with some sort of par, that for me isn't necessarily a fail, but it ain't great. Again, like I said, that's the lowest score I've ever produced on this exercise. But anyway, I'm so glad you came along with me on this fun little stand and deliver exercise video. If you have an indoor range you can try these at, please go do it and let me know what your scores are. If you would like some virtual coaching, please reach out. I have an amazing 6-week program called Synergy Remote. Please email me at tyler@synergyshooting.com. That's the quickest way to get some information. Again, follow us everywhere that you got the socials: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And yeah, again, I'd love to know how you're doing on these 2 exercises and what you think about them. Hope to see you on the range soon. Y'all have a great day.